What's up everyone? Today I'm going to show you what I'm calling the Purple People Eater Microgreens mix. So stay tuned for the video. What's up everyone? Today I'm going to show you guys a fun mix that I came up with that is completely inspired by Halloween month. Now, whenever this month actually began, I immediately had that song Purple People Eater pop into my head. This is a song that's been around for like a long time. It's kind of silly, but it is all about Halloween, and I just got really inspired by that and thought it'd be really fun to kind of create our own mix based on that song. So what I did was actually chose 4 different like really purpley toned crops, and I also added in something that had a lot of red color to it. Now this is so much fun to kind of create your own mixes because you have a lot of control over it compared to whenever you buy seeds that are already pre-mixed. I want to go ahead and show you guys the crops that I have here in front of me so that way you guys know what we used for this. So starting here on my left, I have, I think this is my purple sprouting broccoli here in the front, and it is looking real nice. There's a nice little bit of purple coming up through that stem into that white, and our beautiful cotyledons are looking great. And then if I flip my tray, we have our purple kohlrabi on the other side. Now this crop has a lot more purple than our purple sprouting broccoli. As you can tell, there's just that purple going all the way up through it. And it even has a little bit of the purple veining here and there. Now you guys may be noticing that I did a half and half tray. What I did was on one half of this, I did 10 grams of my purple kohlrabi seed. And then on my other half of this tray, I did 10 grams of my purple sprouting broccoli seed. And I continued this on to our next tray where I did 10 grams and 10 grams, except for on this tray, I did 10 grams of my red rock cabbage, which has a little bit deeper of a purple color than the purple kohlrabi, and once again goes into that white. And then the cotyledons on this are a lot darker with some of that veining and rim right there. And then on the other side of my tray, I did our mammoth red rock cabbage. Now this crop is very similar to red acre cabbage, as it does have about the same kind of purple going up into that dark green in the rim. The main difference with this one is it does grow a little bit quicker than our red acre, and you can tell that because one, it's a little bit taller, and also our cotyledons on these are much larger. And now for our very last crop, which I actually did this on a single sprouting tray, and that is our bull's blood beets. Now I wanted something with a very nice pop of red to it, and I'll explain why here in a second. And I thought that this was actually the perfect crop for that. And I will say it is a little bit smaller than I want it to be, but I still think that it's going to be great. I still think that it's going to give us that pop of color that we're going to need for this mix. The reason why I chose these particular crops is one, for the purple people eater part. I wanted the purple to have all the purple I could possibly get, and I chose things that I know are going to taste good together. Now these are all brassica crops over here that are all purple, and I know that they all have a similar flavor to them. So I know that there's not going to be anything that's too like crazy in there and throw our flavor off. And the reason why I chose the bull's blood is to just emphasize on the eater part of that song. I'm going to go ahead and harvest all of our trays. So first I'm going to scoot these 2 out of my way, grab my harvesting equipment. So I have my bowl, scale, and knife, and also some Tupperware, so that way I can actually put these into this whenever I'm done harvesting. Whenever I am harvesting these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest half of my tray and then put that aside and then do my other half, so that way I kind of know which is which instead of just combining them all right away. Because then what will happen is you'll harvest one and it will get pushed to the bottom and the other one gets on top, and then you don't actually get to mix them all together. And yeah, we're not going to do that today. We are going to start with our purple kohlrabi first. Look at that beautiful purple tone there. That is so pretty. I actually really like the color that we got on this one. Now I can't remember if I said this at the beginning of the video, but for this grow, I actually used soil. And the reason why I used soil was because I know it gives me a really nice flavor, and it also gives me a lot of coloration. So I wanted to do anything I possibly could to get as much color from my microgreens as I can. And another thing that I did too was I also put these underneath very strong lights. I actually put these underneath our T8 grow lights for their last 2 days of growth. And that way it gave them a nice boost of color as well. So I'm not too worried about talking about weights, but if you are curious, I did get 121 grams from our purple kohlrabi side. So now I'm going to flip our tray and we're gonna do the purple sprouting broccoli. But before I do that, I'm gonna grab my container and I'm actually going to quickly put our purple kohlrabi into the container. We're just gonna set that over here for now. So we know that that is our purple kohlrabi. So now we are on the purple sprouting broccoli. You can see with this one, it's really close to the purple kohlrabi, but the purple is a little bit further down on the stem than the purple kohlrabi. Okay, now we have finished that. I'm going to place that into my container and move on to our cabbage. We don't need that to be really pretty, we just need to get it in there, right? And now we are going to start with our red acre cabbage. And see, this one has a lot deeper purples than our first two groups. And now you're just starting to see all the color differences, which is really cool to see next to each other. Now I'm bump that out of my way again, and we are going to flip our tray over to that mammoth red rock cabbage. See, these are very similar. I would say these are like in between the red acre and the purple kohlrabi, because they are dark, but they also have a nice bright purple. So now we got all that. I am going to move that out of our way, bring our bowl over here and put this into this bowl. That was a good harvest on that one. You see how full that was. Okay, so now we got all of our purple crops harvested. I'm gonna set that aside, and now we're going to take our bull's blood and harvest it. So whenever I'm harvesting this, I want to be careful because it is pretty dang short, and you have to be really careful so you don't cut yourself. And we're just gonna kind of lightly go through this. I might actually switch over to scissors for this one because that is very, very short, as you can see. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna switch to scissors and make this a lot easier on me. Now I got me a pair of my kitchen shears, and I'm just going to grab a hold of these and just kind of snip them. Try to go as fast as I can because this can be a little bit more time consuming doing it this way. But if it saves my fingers, I am okay with that.
One eternity later.
I'm definitely more of a knife girl, but we did it. Took a little bit longer, but we made it through that harvest. There's a little bit of bull's blood here. Looking really nice. I like that color. We have finished harvesting all 5 of our crops, and now it's time to do the fun part. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put mine into this bowl here. It's just a nice giant bowl. That way it doesn't overflow everywhere. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to start with my purple kohlrabi, and I'm just going to grab me a nice little handful of it. Let's go with about that much. I only want a salad big enough for lunch. Okay, and we're just gonna kind of break that apart a little bit. That way it's easier to mix around. Okay, and now I'm gonna grab some of my purple sprouting broccoli. Once again, just gonna grab a nice little handful of this and just kind of spread it around, get a little crazy here, and then just begin kind of mixing that up. Okay, it's a little bit mixed together now. Okay. Then let's move on to, this is our red acre cabbage. I want a little bit more of this one because it has more of a deep purple to it. So let's kind of break them apart. They do like to stick to each other, don't they? Okay, and let's kind of mix those a little bit too. And then lastly, our mammoth red rock cabbage is our last of the purple. I want another big chunk of that because that has so much purple in it. We really want as much of that purple as we can get. I might actually add a little bit more. Scratch that. This looks like a big enough salad. If I do any more, I'm gonna be super stuffed. Okay, now we're mixing around our purples as much as we can here. Let's get them kind of mixed through each other. Oh, that looks so good. And then it's time for the fun part, which is turning this into the true purple people eater mix by adding bull's blood. We need to grab a decent amount of this. Of course, if you don't like the flavor as much, you don't have to use this much. I just really love the beet flavor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just gonna kind of take some of it out of my hand and start sprinkling this through there. Sprinkle, look how pretty that looks. The nice pop of red. Okay, and I'm going to actually mix some of that in and set aside a little bit that was in my hand. That way it gets mixed throughout and it's not just on top of it. Okay, so I am noticing I want to add a little bit more of that red to this. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna start in the middle this time. You see how you can see the reds and all the purples and oh my gosh, look at the backside of that beet. That's so pretty. So we have our mix going on here. And now to make this even more beautiful, I'm actually gonna take a little bit more of that beet and this time just sprinkle it on top of it, so it gives it that beautiful pop that you see there. All right, y'all, so we have our base down for our purple people eater microgreen mixed salad. Now from this point forward, it's really just kind of adding in things that you want to add in. If you want to add lettuce into it, that'd be really nice too. Or I'm gonna actually add some purple onion and a nice deep red heirloom tomato, which I've already pre-cut and I have right here. And I thought that these would be a really good addition to these colors in here. And I might add like some chicken or something. I'm not really sure yet. It's kind of whatever my stomach tells me to add into this. But remember, whenever you're making a salad, it's really whatever you enjoy eating. You don't want to put something in there that you just don't like, because then it's just not as good. And also remember, this doesn't have to be just a salad. You can actually take your microgreen mix here, grab you a chunk, put this on top of a nice pasta dish, or if you have a really good sandwich recipe, that'd be really good on it. Really, it's kind of the sky's the limit here. It's just whatever you want to use it on. But today I'm gonna use this for a salad because that sounds really good and healthy, and I think I need something healthy after the weekend.
I want a sandwich.
So let me go ahead and get this kind of mixed up and we'll get a final shot of how beautiful this looks because I want to see it too. Little bit onion, sprinkle in the salad, little bit onion, purple people eater mix, tomato time, boop, 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 and boop, and boop. All right, y'all, so remember, if you're curious about how to grow any of these crops here, I literally have so many full walkthroughs, and we're gonna link those down below, so that way if you wanna learn how to grow the red acre cabbage or grow the beets, whatever it is, you can learn how to grow it. So if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. I'd also love to see your purple people eater mix and see what you guys did with it as well. We also have a website, which is www.onthegrow.net, and a Facebook and Instagram. They're both at On The Grow Farms. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy your purple people eater salad. Boop. Mandy's done now.